Hi, everyone. Welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Loshak in the Bag show for Monday, December 18th. Sorry, we're a little bit late. We had some technical difficulties, but now everything is worked out and we're raring to go. This is, of course, a 12 o'clock show. We will be back at 6 o'clock Eastern time today to give our college basketball picks, to look at line moves and everything. Our regular viewers know what the deal is, and I guess the story of last week was Jimmy the Bag absolutely raring back in NBA. Unbelievable. Jimmy the Bag, since after I gave that inspirational talk, your record in NBA after that talk has been 23-8 plus 14.8 units. In 1 week, you went from negative double digits now up to plus 3.5 units. Absolutely roaring back, Jimmy the Bag. I was thinking maybe it would take 2 weeks, a month, something like that. In a 1 week and 1 day, you have now gone from negative double digits in NBA to decently positive in NBA.
A little positive, but it's a bunch of different things. Your inspirational speech,
yes,
and believing in me, and then I really feel like there's no reason why we shouldn't cap better than we've ever capped with 300 of us working together every day. So I just, all weekend I was thinking, what an opportunity we have with all these guys that we work with every day. There's no reason why we shouldn't be better than we've ever been. I expect to be in the black in every sport, working all together like we've been working.
Absolutely, and we have no research assistants here at SBR, but we do have them on the internet. So thank you so much, guys. For all our insights on the internet and at chat box every day. And the secondary story of last week was that everything that went wrong for me in the NBA could have. I had a bunch of games that I capped accurately that I tried to get too cute with, and I took first quarter plays, and they all lost. Then the Nets game, and just on Friday was the kicker, right? I mean, that does happen in the NBA, but of course I jumped on the Nets first quarter, first half. Turned out that Crabbe and Carroll were both out. Unbelievable. And then you went on the first half and first quarter on Toronto, and you cashed with both of those. So everything went right for me. It went right for you last week in the NBA. Everything went wrong for me. And as we know, those things do tend to even out, though, Jim, right?
They do. That was I would never imagine them holding Carroll out coming back to Toronto.
Yeah.
I mean, the Crabbe thing was a surprise, and then I would never have expected they do that with Carroll.
But on the other hand, those sorts of unexpected, late minute, right before tip-off roster changes in the NBA are completely to be expected in the NBA, and we'll see that all season long. So those are things that's a good reason why we do these the second show at 6 o'clock Eastern time. And to add insult to injury, I didn't have the balls then to take it back. I could have gone with you on Toronto and taken him back. Just everything went wrong for me last week in the NBA, Jim. Everything went right for you, and congratulations. But the main thing that went right for you was awesome handicapping in the NBA, Jimmy the Bag.
Oh, thank you very much. I really think we're a team. We're winning as a team. But goddamn, it feels good. And I know that I'm very close to being back in the red, and I'm not in the black yet in NHL.
Yeah.
So there's still a ton of work to be done.
Yes, and not only that, if you take your eye off the ball in NBA, you'll go real fast. Yeah. But anyway, so last week overall, it actually wasn't that bad of a week for me, just a small losing week for me. You, Jimmy, last week overall, including everything, 38-34 plus 7.9 units overall. Very nicely done. And in the NBA, 18-7 plus 10.9 units overall. NHL, very interesting. You love these big underdogs, right? So in NHL last week, you were 7-12, but because they were such big underdogs, you're only down half a unit.
Yeah. I had a good Friday, but I had a tough Monday to Thursday, but there's some spots I really like in the NHL tonight.
All right. We will get into that in a second. And for me, overall last week, I was 41-43, negative 3.8 units, which overall is, not that bad. I hit my MMA play, which was easy, the overcasher in the main event in MMA. And I had, once again, a winning week in college hoops. Not that great, but 19-14 plus 3.8 units in college hoops, chugging along. And my record in NBA was 13 wins, 19 losses, minus 7.5 units. Unbelievable. In the NBA. Wow. Okay. Wow. Let's try to improve on that right now. Let's jump in. We're a little bit late. First, let me just quickly get to some comments, and then we'll jump into NBA. Let's see. Big Easy VZ says, "Great job, Jim. Love your research, angles, and confidence." I agree with all of that. Let's see. Okay, we will get into NBA in a second. I just want to see if there's any comments that we should start off the show with. Let's see. Aaron Escobar says, "Thought the show was canceled today. My Monday just got a little better." Let's get these winners today. Aaron Escobar, thank you so much. Awesome. This is what I'm looking for in these comments to start off my season positively. Yeah, there's also okay. Let's see. We'll get to the Chicago game. A lot of people asking about that one. That is very interesting. Nasty Nate says, "Love the Shack Bag Hour." Thank you so much, Nasty Nate. All right, I'm going to save these comments on my computer here. All right. Let's get back to it. NBA, let's jump right into it. Jimmy the Bag, NBA is the first segment that we're going to look at right now. Let's throw the NBA record up. You got the NBA record up there, Ariel? All right, let's find it. NBA overall, I am. Let's comment on it when it's up. The NBA record. We're doing this just for Jimmy because we have to show Jimmy's record positive, and we don't have to show. The record's not there. Unbelievable. So there you go. Sometimes when you win, you really lose, or sometimes when you win, you really lose or tie. I would consider this still to be a win, but a less big win. But we will have your records fixed at some point, and we will be able to show them. Anyway, the record, Jimmy the Bag, is 193 in NBA, plus 3.5 units, plus 1.7% ROI. And again, Jimmy the Bag is 23-8 since I gave the inspirational speech to him on Friday, and plus 14.8 units. So Jimmy the Bag, that is an awesome record, and you get the honor of starting off the NBA segment today. What are you liking from NBA, Jim?
Beautiful. I'm going to take the Chicago Bulls on the money line this evening. The 8-20 Bulls now have the longest winning streak in the NBA at 5 games, and I thank them for being a great help to get me back to the black. They have yet to lose with Nikola Mirotic in the lineup. He's averaged 25 points over his last 3 games. They haven't played since their 115-109 victory at Milwaukee, so they're fresh. Markkanen may be back from injury tonight, and he will regain his starting spot over Mirotic, which we'll have to see how that plays out. Sixers have lost 5 of 6. They haven't played since a triple overtime loss to the Thunder on Friday. When the season started, Embiid wasn't expected to log heavy minutes until January. He played 49 minutes in that game versus the Thunder, 34 points, 8 boards, 7 assists. And now he did not travel with the team because of back stiffness. The Bulls are on the first half of a back-to-back. Also, back to the Sixers, Coach Brown said he thought that the Sixers were going to take longer to find success. At 14-14, I expected them to be better than this. I don't think they found. I thought they were going to be a better team than they've shown to be. Trevor Booker will be out. Fultz doesn't have shoulder pain, but still will be out until January. I think this is a great spot for the Bulls to take it further, take this winning streak further. Okay, the line is headed up in their direction. It was 2.5 in the morning when I handicapped this game. Now it's down to 2. So you want them on the money line. I do.
All right, the money line, we're shopping right now at SBRodds.com right now. 5 Dimes does have plus 117. We don't use 5 Dimes lines here. Our records would be significantly better if we did. 5 Dimes is not considered a market line. We will give you plus 115. How about that?
Love it.
Okay, Bulls money line, plus 115. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And I was also thinking maybe with a shot, just thinking out loud here. I'm liking a lot of unders today in today's card. I was thinking about the under here. The Bulls, God, and again, I didn't take my leans last time. I love the Bulls team total over. Last game cashed easily. I could easily have been, all right, enough whining and complaining, enough bitching and whining and complaining. I think that's one of the reasons people like the show is that when I lose, I whine and bitch and complain. And people like to see whiny guys who lose, right?
No, they like honesty and transparency.
Okay.
Accountability, all the things that you do and you provide.
I was going to take the under here. I did bet it and pick it. Jim, you did give an opinion before that you thought that with the way Chicago's playing now might lean to the under a little bit. What's your take on this game?
My feeling is that the under is a good spot to be in without Embiid. I think it's such a good spot to be in that I am ready to tail it immediately.
All right, well, it is 209 and a half. Pinnacle is 210 minus 117. So I'm line shopping here, and I'll just take the, I guess I will just take, I'll take 210, under 210 minus 117. That is the line right now at Pinnacle. You want that one too, Jim?
What was the 209 and a half?
209 after minus 110.
Okay, yeah, I think it makes sense to take the 210.
I mean, it's about almost equivalent, dead equivalent. But what do you want here?
I'll take 210 minus 117.
Really? You want the under as well? Okay, yeah. Jim. All right, Jim. I don't know if you should be tailing me. I should be tailing you, not you tailing me. But okay, let's
Big Easy VZ says I like the under without Embiid. I mean, what they lose defensively, they also lose probably more offensively. And Yeah, I think this is a great spot. I think this is a really nice spot.
All right. Now, normally what Jim and I do is, he gives a pick, I give a pick, he gives a pick, I give a pick. But in honor of how shitty I did last week in NBA and how great Jim did last week in NBA, why don't you do the second pick, Jimmy the Bag?
Now, I've already seen on the chat that people are not going to be riding with me on this pick. But I'm going to take the Atlanta Hawks on the money line as well.
Whoa.
The Heat are a beat-up group. And they're running out of bigs. Thankfully, they expect Justice Winslow to be back. But James Johnson hurt himself on Saturday night in their win over the Clippers. So now they have Whiteside out, White out, Hammonds out, Magruder out. Miami is handling this adversity well. They've won 4 or 5. Josh Richardson stepped up in a big way, put up a career-high 28 in Saturday's win over the Clippers. He's made 21 of his last 36 threes. But the Hawks have been off since losing 96-94 at Memphis. They've lost 4 straight. But I just think that they're going to be able to handle their business with such a tiny. There are no bigs. Like John Collins is going to dominate. I don't see how the Heat can handle this. I don't see how. And especially with Schroeder in the lineup, I just don't see how.
All right, well, Atlanta has covered 7 out of their last 9, a little bit under the radar, right? And the line is all over the place. It's all the way from +1.5 to +3 market wide, and so is the money line all over the place. So you want the money line here?
I do.
All right, once again, 5 dimes +135. But we don't use 5 dimes. The best line we can give you +130, which is Bet Online, sportsbetting.ag, and UWager.
I like it.
Yeah, Atlanta money line +130. I did look at this game, and I decided to pass on that one. All right, so that's the only pick you have on that one, Jim?
Yes.
All right, now normally, this would be my turn to go and give a pick. But again, in honor of how shitty I did last week and how awesome Jim did last week, why don't you give it a third pick, Jimmy? Third in a row pick. Jimmy the Bag.
I'm going to take the Lakers to cover this evening. The Warriors will be without Curry, Green, Pachula, and Livingston. Nick Young will be back from his concussion. I expect him to have a big game. Now, this is the night it's going to be star-studded, right? Yeah. Kobe Bryant's having his jersey retired. Very exciting. The Lakers have won just 2 of 9. The Warriors defeated the Lakers 127-123 last month, and that was a really good sign that the Lakers could run with these guys. Brandon Ingram put up 32 points in that game. He has the locker space that Kobe Bryant had for 20 years. I expect Ingram to have a monster night. And yes, Durant's putting up MVP numbers, 33.8 points, 10.3 boards, 7.3 assists in their just over the last few games. Yes, the Warriors have won 8 straight. But, I like the Lakers to cover this spread tonight. Okay, that's what I was thinking as well. And, of course, they did play recently in L.A., and that game went to OT. It was tied 109 after regulation, and that was with Curry and all the starters. So why can't they do the same thing here? I was thinking that the same way. Let me see what the line is. It was 6 or 6.5 when I looked at it, and it is, 6. No 6.5s I'm seeing. So what do you want here, Jim? The money line or the spread? Osmanaman just says Black Mamba out. So,
very nice.
Yes, Blake Kersey doesn't think I should do it. My man XV Dynasty says damn straight. Lakers great pick. Sorry, were you saying that I could get 7 and a 6.5?
No, there was a 6.5 before, but it's not available right now, so just 6.
Okay, I'll take +6.
All right, you want it? Okay, Jim, on the LA Lakers, +6. Best line would be, I'm shopping for the best odds, -105, which is at the Greek and Pinnacle right now. I was kind of feeling the same way. Let's get to some of these opinions as to why they wouldn't like that one. Mark Lathrop says Lakers are +6, total at 218. I kind of like the over. That's interesting. I was thinking about a shot with the under, as we've been talking about. The totals have been a little bit lower scoring with Curry out, but then again, with such a high-profile game, sometimes the Lakers, those home games in LA, they're just like, let's not play defense and put on a show for the fans, right?
I think they will be putting on a show for the fans as well.
Yeah, and then here we go. Jesse Daly with one of the classic handicapping angles that multiple posters have cited in all sports, actually. Jesse Daly says Lakers are going to get shit over by KD. What do you think about that?
Shit over?
Shit over. I think that means they're going to lose. Maybe that means they're going to win. Yeah, I don't understand. Is that good or bad? I think it means that KD's going to have a good game, but I'm not sure about that one. I don't know. Yeah. Michael Didier says 6 points is a very short number to cover. In general, it is, but again, they're banged up. Curry's out. All the guys are out, and they had that. They couldn't cover that number the last game in regulation in LA with all their stars in. Now, obviously, that's a teeny sample size of 1. Extreme recency bias, their last game together. But the fact is, they went into LA with all their stars, and it went to OT, right?
Absolutely. And I'm a huge Sean Livingston fan. I think he does so much defensively. Having him and Green out of the lineup, Pachula out of the lineup, I mean, it's a tough spot for
Yeah,
the Warriors.
maybe bets to pass. King Rail says, LOL, KD is about to show out tonight. I'm just going to watch this one. Yep, Big Easy VZ says, I like the Lakers first half. Let's see. I don't know. Yeah, Brian Bosch also says the Lakers first half. I think 6 is right on the line. Could go either way at the end. Big Easy VZ says, scared of that Warriors third quarter. I know that and then Blake Kersey says the Warriors have been losing first half bets all season long. All right, I'm going to think about this one. I'm going to look at it maybe at 6 o'clock. I was definitely leaning the Lakers here. And here we go. An interesting comment from Merlin 1964. Won't Loshak regress back to his mean of winning in the NBA? Yes. If my mean in the NBA is winning, yes, you would expect regression. On the other hand, if my mean is minus 10% ROI, you would expect further regression that way. That's the big key. The big key is, where is the mean? That's the big question in all aspects of life, really. What is the mean? What is the true mean? And what is the illusory mean? All right, Jim's going to take the Lakers plus 6.
Yep.
And no play on the total.
No play on the total, but it'll be something I'll be definitely keeping an eye on. And yes, the Warriors games have been going under, but this is a different night.
All right, let me look at a couple of games that I'm thinking about. Well, let's put this line out here. One line that makes not necessarily makes absolutely no sense, but is very, very head scratching. Right, the Knicks-Charlotte line. I'm sure you've looked at this one, right?
Oh yeah.
Now, Charlotte has been bad straight up and ATS over the last 10 games or so, having a hard time winning, having a hard time covering, and obviously Kemba Walker looks like he's a little bit still injured. Right. Now, the Knicks had Porzingis out last game, and they won easily. Michael Beasley had a great game. So the question is here, and I think Porzingis, I'm assuming based on this line that Porzingis is out, right?
He is out.
Definitely.
Well, no. No, just questionable at this point still. But I don't expect him to be there for, which is ridiculous. I have no idea, but he's questionable.
Whether he's in or out right now, in light of how well the Knicks have been playing recently, they've 3 straight covers without Porzingis. They've clearly got some pieces of the puzzle that can be effective. Should Charlotte be a 5.5-point favorite here?
They shouldn't be. No, they should not be. But I cannot expect Beasley to go off like he did, career-high 30 points, 11 for 18 from the field. I do not expect that. Hardaway is still out. And we've seen what happens when these teams deal with that adversity. They deal with it great for that one game.
Yeah.
And then it sort of falls. This is a very tricky spot. There's no reason they should be 6 points favorites, even without those two guys. Hornets have lost 10 of 12, their first 2 games on this homestand. They're 8-8 at home, but they've lost 6 of 7 there. Kemba Walker, as Pete said, it looks like he's still hurt. Went 9 for 26 for 14 points. He sprained his left wrist on Friday, and now in his last 3 games, he's 20 for 63 from the field, 5 for 25 from 3. Now the Knicks are 2-8 on the road, and I don't trust Beasley. This is a strange spot.
Yeah, it certainly is. Now, we have some comments here. A lot of people liking the over here. And this line actually, it is, I don't know where he's saying, I'm probably on Knicks over 203, except that the line is 206.5 or 207. The spread on this game also appears to be headed up. Bet365 already has, and 5 Dimes already have 6.5. Pinnacle's up to -6, -113. So not only is Charlotte a big favorite here, but the line is getting bet up. And we got a lot of opinions on the over, right? Al Max says, I love the over in the Knicks game, and +5.5 is too many points. Elio Rodriguez says, love the over in the Knicks game. Michael Didier says, seems like Charlotte's interim coach is incompetent. Why does everyone like the under here so much? I was thinking, I had no real opinion, but a slight lean to the under. Why does everyone love the under so much? What do you think, Jim? What's your take on the total?
Well, just the Hornets aren't able to score.
Right.
And losing Zeller turned out to be a much bigger thing than people maybe immediately thought, because you can create a defense, you can create a game plan to kind of get Dwight Howard out of it.
Yeah.
And then they were able to always have Kaminsky and Zeller. Now they just have Kaminsky. The real issue, you nailed it, is Kemba Walker's wrist, and he's just not scoring. And then the Knicks, Beasley needs to have a career-high night for them to take care of business.
Eric Swiatek says, Hornets are terrible. This is a bet-against team for me for the rest of the season. I think in the NBA in December, you never want to say anything is something you want to do for the rest of the season. But until further notice is a different story. Yeah, I mean, they just seem, I understand that Beasley is, you don't expect that from him every night, but it's just, if the Knicks were going up against a reasonable team that was maybe appropriately valued by the market, maybe you'd look to fade him here. But Charlotte is just having so many issues, and they've clearly been overvalued recently for an extended period of time, Jim.
Yeah. When we're dealing with all these injuries, as you've mentioned before, the volatility skyrockets. I'm going to leave this game alone, but I can understand fading the Hornets.
And a lot of people liking the under. I'm wondering why people are liking the under. If people can give their reasons for, the over. If they can give their reasons for liking the over, please let me know. Brian Bosch says definitely not over. Charlotte are not consistent shooters. Yeah, I was leaning to the under on that one. But all right. So I'll think about that for a second. Someone else, a new commenter. Greetings from Guadalajara, Jalisco. What do you guys think about Oklahoma City? That's Carlos Dominguez asked that question. Let's get into that game because obviously Oklahoma City is also in that Charlotte area of ATS, right? They've just consistently overvalued game in and game out. Denver is improving, and now they're getting Jokic back, right?
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And again, the line doesn't quite make sense. They're giving 5, and it's headed up a little bit. There's definitely 5.5s available. This one, I was definitely thinking Denver's got to be the play. Also thinking about the under. What's your take on this game, Jim?
The Thunder are just extremely difficult to figure out. Actually, and so are the Nuggets to some extent. But the Thunder, they've won 6 of 9 and lost by 15 on Saturday in that Knicks game that we talked about with no Porzingis, no Hardaway. Now Steven Adams is out with a concussion, so that's a big loss. And Westbrook, George, and Anthony continue just to shoot terribly. In their completed 3-game road trip combined, they shot 35.1%. Nuggets get Jokic back from the ankle injury. He came off the bench, finished with 13 points, 11 boards in 22 minutes. They need him desperately without Millsap. But the Nuggets are 5-11 on the road. Won't have Mudai, questionable with an ankle injury. And just the Thunder, you seem to have an idea that they're going to play well defensively at home. But now Steven Adams has become their second option. And he's not going to be in the lineup. This is another just very, very tricky spot at this point right now. Okay,
so why would we? I'm leaning Denver and the under. Why would we not like that? The total does appear to be headed down a little bit, although it did get bet up after a quick jump to the over from the opener, and now it's headed down a little bit. I don't know. I'm just thinking about throwing on the under and Denver plus the points. What do you think that's a risky play, or do you think that OKC is going to turn it up unexpectedly here?
I don't see how they can without Steven Adams. I just don't see how they can turn it up. So, yeah, I agree. Both of those leans are I would definitely take – I just can't trust Denver. And the only time the Thunder have looked good all year is at home. But this line is up to 211.5.
Yeah. All right, I will definitely take the under here. It's 210, 2.5, 211 at the Greek, and 211.5 minus 113. I'll take that one. 211.5 minus 113. I'll take that one for now, and maybe I'll throw on the first half under. Maybe I'll throw on Denver in the afternoon show. We'll see. But someone asked about the OKC game, and you know what? I will throw on the first half under now. I'm just thinking that it'll be a relatively modest scoring, and I will take that one. It's 108 or 107.5. Intertops has the best. 5 dimes has 108.5. We don't use 5 dimes, but I will take the first half under 108 minus 110. Intertops. Thank you so much, Intertops, for offering us the best line on the first half under in Denver OKC. I will take the first half under 108 minus 110 and the full game under 211.5 minus 113. Got to be thinking that Denver plus the points is worth a shot here, but I don't know.
I like the under personally better, but I agree with you. I agree with you because Steven Adams has been so crucial to their success, especially over the last 2 weeks. And without him, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind if we could come back to this game too.
Okay. All right, let's come back to this game. Let's move on to another game that's very interesting, right, Jim?
Yeah.
Utah and Houston, right? Now, Houston, of course, is just this pattern that I've identified pretty much when it started. Houston just winning game in and game out straight up, but not covering, right? The last 10 games, I think they're 4-5-1 ATS, but of course they've won all those. And here's a classic situation when they're a double-digit favorite like this. They're very vulnerable to getting another straight-up win, even a comfortable straight-up win, but not cashing. And now Gobert and Favors are out, right?
Favors could come back tonight.
Right. Okay.
And that's what, because he's just dealing with this eye laceration, and the Jazz hope to have him back. I think that is a huge deal if he can come back, because they were rolling when they moved him over to the 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is an interesting spot. Exum and NATO remain out, but Donovan Mitchell handling the offensive load for the Jazz, averaging 25.8 points per month for this month, and he's got to be ahead in the Rookie of the Year balloting right now. The Rockets extended their winning streak to 13 games, barely 115-111 win over the Bucks, missing Mbah a Moute and Capella, but Capella will be back tonight. I'm going to wait. If Favors is in, which I expect, I think that the Jazz will likely be a play.
Another straight up win for Houston, but an ATS loss. I'm going to get to some comments here. Let's see. Elio Rodriguez likes the Rockets' first half. Yes, and the teams that cover against the Rockets do tend to sometimes get backdoor covers on the second half, and maybe Utah on the second half might also be worth the play. Delta 75 likes Jazz plus 11.5. Let's see. And here's an interesting question or a comment from or a question from Rem Most. So if you don't take 5 dimes, why keep bringing them up? LOL. Because if you play there, you should absolutely, if you can play there, if they haven't, shown you the door, you should absolutely play there. And, go to sportsbookreview.com, find out what 5 dimes is all about, and definitely use them if you can. I don't use them for our record tracking because I wouldn't consider lines to be to be market lines. They're intentionally off market lines, and as opposed to the Greek and Pinnacle, which are off market lines that are intentionally off market that you can bet in perpetuity. If you beat 5 dimes, they will show you the door. But absolutely, as long as you can play there, you should use them. So I mention it because if you have that book as an out, you should definitely use them. I just don't use them for our record keeping. And if I did, which a lot of handicappers do, if I did, Jimmy and our record would be a bit better than it is right now. But so that's your answer there, Rem Most. All right, Utah plus 11.5. What do you think, Jim? It's just Houston's so good.
I just need to wait. I need favors in that lineup because we saw how good. And also, this is an injury. I mean, obviously, the eye is a delicate spot, but this is an injury that's not really body related, so maybe that rest will be good for him. He's running the floor better than I've seen him run in his career, and that's a big difference to me. Now, I guess if Favors says he's in, will that line go down to 10? Probably.
Yeah, and here you go. Tomori says, I think Houston was flat against Milwaukee off the Spurs win. I think they were in a good spot against Utah since Utah plays up-tempo. Yeah, and anytime Houston gets going, they can cover those spreads. I mean, they're not an auto fade as a double-digit favorite. They've just been a little bit less than 50% ATS during their winning streak. All right, I'll hold off on that one, and I will think about it as well. Jimmy the Bag, anything else you want to give a pick on?
Not at this point, unless we cap all this stuff together. Blazers at Timberwolves is an interesting spot. Jimmy Butler's questionable with a back injury. He's averaging 37.3 minutes, which is second most in the league behind Antetokounmpo. The Wolves are off to their third best start in franchise history, but I can't help but feel like way more was expected from this group. They're coming off a 2-point loss at home to the lowly Suns, playing without Devin Booker. They're they're 5th in offensive rating and 25th in defensive rating. They continue to play horribly in the fourth quarter, 28th in the league in fourth quarter scoring, and have the largest deficit in scoring margin in the fourth quarter of any team in the NBA. Blazers are starting to play well again. Man, they're a streaky group, 9-5 on the road. Have looked better there than at home. They're 3-1 on this 5-game road trip, with their only loss coming to Golden State. They had lost 5 straight before this winning streak. Strong defensively, allowing just 100.5 points per game. 4th in the league in defensive rating. I like the Blazers here. I like the Blazers here, but I don't know if I'm going to make a move at this point.
Okay. Right now it is 4, and yeah, Blazers 5 straight covers, and Minnesota continues to slump ATS-wise, and especially at home. It's just I'm just concerned that they're so pissed about the way the last game went that they'll come out here maybe a little bit strong. But yeah, certainly Portland's been covering recently. Minnesota has been overvalued recently, particularly at home, and the line right now is 4. All right, so let's move on to another game that's interesting involving a team that has been doing well recently ATS-wise, and that is Phoenix against Dallas, right? Phoenix really rolling ATS-wise. They won on Saturday outright as a double-digit underdog against Minnesota. Dallas also doing really well ATS-wise, but I'm thinking that at this line, maybe Phoenix getting 7 might be the play. What do you think, Jim?
I don't know. The Suns are coming off of the big road win in Minnesota. Isaiah Cannon came in and played great. Yeah. Man, that was a great debut. 15 points, 7 boards, 5 assists in 27 minutes. He's already made appearances this year for the Thunder and Rockets, but people forget he was 15th in the league and made threes 2 years ago, and he's only 26. But there's a lot of questioning as why Mike James was a healthy scratch. What's going on there is very confusing. I guess he's just a problem in the dressing room. It's unclear, basically, but Triano is clearly sitting a healthy Mike James right now. Mavs are coming off of that road loss to the Spurs. There was no Leonard, no Parker, no Danny Green. They controlled the whole game and then allowed a 13-0 run late to lose 98-96. Dennis Smith is still questionable. I think I like the Mavericks I'm surprised it's a 7.5 point line. I like the Mavericks here. I think they could completely dominate this Suns team at home.
All right, I was leaning Suns here, but maybe I will hold off and wait till. I'm realizing now that in a lot of these situations, it's better for me to. I mean, I did bet that one. Yeah, I bet Phoenix, and maybe that was a bad bet. But I will hold off for now and decide whether I want to recommend it as a play. It's up to 7 now. And then let's talk about another game that's interesting, which is the Clippers against San Antonio. The Clippers have also been covering recently. And the Spurs, obviously, we know what they do. A great team that can rise to occasions at any point. But they're giving double digits here. The Spurs have lost 4 in a row. ATS, obviously, Kawhi Leonard's back. They're getting him back into the mix. Is this a blowout for the Spurs or more likely to be a single-digit game? What do you think?
It's a tough spot. I kind of like the under here better than anything else at this point. The Spurs closed out that 98-96 win over the Mavs with that 13-0 run. Manu Ginobili's winning steal, 3.1 seconds left. So Leonard and Parker will be back in the lineup tonight, but Green remains questionable. Kyle Anderson has no return date. The Spurs are looking great at home, 14-2, but they're not covering a lot of the time.
Right.
And the Clippers are finding their way barely, without Blake Griffin, Daniel Gallinari, Austin Rivers, Patrick Beverly. But Rivers will be back. We've seen the only way that this Clippers team can come close is when Lou Williams puts up 30+. And then I read that he's out tonight, which is surprising. I didn't have that in my research. Somebody wrote that he is out tonight.
Okay, some interesting stuff here. XV Dynasty says I played the under 203. Yes, I was also leaning under on that one at 202.5. King Rail says the 3 hardest teams to cap: Suns, Nuggets, OKC. Very interesting comment there. Elio Rodriguez says never bad getting 7 to get back, Pete. And then Donald Trump says plus 7.5 Phoenix is an all right bet. Above the 7. We'll see where this line moves. Absolutely. And then let's see. Devang Desai says Suns are tricky to figure out. That's a new name. I haven't seen this guy before. Devang Desai. Welcome, Devang Desai.
Nice.
Suns are tricky to figure out. The one thing they have going for them is their bench. Yes, which is why I like taking them on the full game as an underdog. Len and Bender have been playing well together. The addition of Kanan is big. The bench scored 66+ points. See, there you go. That's what I was thinking. I'm thinking Phoenix is a play here, getting that many points. Let's see. Other comments here. Tomor says Phoenix is tough to back with Booker out since they play no defense. I like Dallas, but small with injuries. I don't know. I'm liking Phoenix here.
Dennis Smith is not going to play for sure.
Okay.
Lou Williams is not going to play for sure. Jimmy Butler is expected to play. And Dragic and Waiters are questionable.
Okay. Kamari Durrell asks Loshak, do you comb your mustache before the show? The answer to that is sometimes yes, sometimes no, right? If I'm rushing to get all the computers and all my opinions and notes in order, no. But if I have a little bit of time, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? I meditate while it's sort of a meditative kind of process for me.
Sure.
I absolutely do comb my mustache before the show at times. Let's see. Donald Trump says Portland is also worth a try straight up. They have been massively undervalued against struggling teams. And before we were even talking about this game, Lachlan Edmonds chimed in with Dallas is a nice pick tonight. Okay. I wonder why Lachlan Edwards likes him. Oh, and now Mukund VJ says, it's my birthday today, Pete. All right. I guess we're going to have to give Mukund VJ a birthday pick, which I think we're 2-0 on our birthday picks so far.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully. Marcus Johnson says, Peter, do you still have a Twitter account? Yes, it's at P. Loshak. I don't tweet that much, but I do try to tweet as much as I can, and sometimes I tweet, second half plays. I haven't been doing that much. All right. We were running a little bit late. We do have to get to NHL. And one other play that I was thinking about was the under in the Boston-Indiana game. Obviously, Boston is playing well and going modestly scoring. And will Indiana be able to push them offensively? I'm not sure, and I kind of like the under. What do you think, Jim?
Well, first off, I don't mean to hold back, but I'm going to jump on the under in the Clippers-Spurs game.
Okay.
I think that's a good move there. Under 203 is a nice line. No Lou Williams. I believe that line will go down throughout the day.
Okay.
I'm going to grab it here.
Okay, best line is at Bookmaker right now, under 202.5 minus 110.
Oh, damn, there's no 203s left?
No.
Damn,
and in
okay.
fact, Bookmaker's the only place that has 202.5 that I'm looking at.
That'll keep going down.
Okay.
Sorry. And then
Boston and Indiana.
Yes.
And you know what? I'm going to take the Spurs one under as well. Under 202.5 minus 110. I was liking that one. I bet it, and why not?
And I think that line's going to start dropping fast. So it's good that we got on it now. Pacers are on the second half of a back-to-back. They beat the Nets In Brooklyn, 109-97 last night, won 5-7. The Celtics beat the Pacers in Indiana, 108-98 on November 25th, but that was without Oladipo, who is being incredible this year, averaging career highs in points, field goal percentage, three-point percentage. Celtics are just 7-4 in their last 11, have alternated wins and losses in those 6 games. They've also allowed an average of 102.5 points in those 11 games, which is worse. The Celtics win them when they play well defensively. They're 18-0 when they limit an opponent to 45% or less from the field. Morris remains out, but he said that he's feeling better and won't need surgery. This is a spot I've been staring at for hours, wondering whether I should jump on the Pacers at the dog money, and I decided not to. And maybe that will change after a few more hours, but at this point, I'm leaving this game alone.
Okay, here's an interesting comment from Native Queen. Of course, Native Queen has posted a few eye-popping, eye-opening winning plays and impressive game analysis in general over the past few weeks. Here she goes. Comment from Native Queen. First quarters, Houston, Lakers, Bulls, Atlanta, Spurs, and Dallas. Thank me tomorrow with the old thank me tomorrow betting boasting. I love that one. I'm just never confident enough to say that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I always say, like, I give my picks and then I'm like, and if I'm wrong tomorrow, I want to preemptively apologize. You know, here we go again. Native Queen. First quarters: Houston, Lakers, Bulls, Atlanta, Spurs, and Dallas. Thank her tomorrow. We shall see. Wow, interesting post there. Maybe I'll just tail all of those and try to add on some units to my NBA record just by tailing Native Queen on those first quarters. Rem Mo says, good under, Jimmy. I was thinking that Clippers under is solid. Let's see. There's Donald Trump says there's massive public action on Boston. I wonder if the real line should be more in favor of Indy. Yeah, massive public action on Boston all year, says Tomarino Tomor. Donald Trump says, I think we should stay off that Boston game. Even the spread, even the total, because I was liking under again. But what do you think? Does no one like the under?
What's the number at right now?
206 and a half or 207. I bet that one. I think I got 206 and a half, but I will throw that one on there for sure. Under 207 minus 110. That's the line right now at Bookmaker and Bet365. Other places have 206, 206 and a half. What do you think, Jim?
I think that's a good place to be in. Yeah, I don't think it goes over 200.
Tomarino Tomor says, I think value in the Bulls game is with the over. Both teams are up tempo and the Bulls are playing well. Well, Jim and I both took the under on that one. Hopefully we don't get burned on that one. Yeah, I mean, it's just that, Philly can go super, super high over. It's just that I'm wondering if this might be just a little bit of a down spot for them coming off the OT games. Maybe they clamp down on defense a little bit, you know?
Yeah, I mean, CRC says under and Pacers just sounds weird. Ray Uribe saying taking the Pacers points. Kamari Durrell says Boston healthy now. They're a lock. Corey Jean says, I'll take Boston against almost anyone in the league at minus 2.5.
All right, so let's review all the picks that we've given officially, and then let's move on to NHL. Jimmy the Bag has given the Bulls on the money line plus 115. The Bulls game under 210 minus 117, which Tomarino Tomor strongly disagrees with. He's also given the Spurs game under 202 and a half, which a bunch of people agree with. Atlanta on the money line plus 130, and the Lakers plus 6 minus 105. I've given the Bulls game under 210. The OKC game under 211 and a half, and the first half under in that one 108. Also the Spurs game under 202 and a half, and the Indiana Pacers and the Boston game under 207. All right, a lot of interesting stuff in the NBA. You want to add anything else, Jim, or shall we move on or read any comments?
Yeah, why don't you read King Rail's comment right there?
Okay, let's see. Where's King Rail's comment? The way you guys interact with chat and make us part of the show is great. Plus, I get the best laughs and bets from this show. Best fucking show on the planet. Booyah! There you go, King Rail. Comment of the day, comment of the morning show at the very least, and contender, shortlist contender for comment of the entire day. That one is also on the shortlist for one of the comment posters that I'm going to make and hang on my fucking wall.
Oh,
King
wow.
Rail, thanks
Sean
so much.
Jackson right underneath it. You see that?
Fucking really here. Could you save that because my right click isn't working on this?
No problem.
Could you save that?
I will for sure.
Right, make sure you save that.
Sean Jackson says, not a hockey genius at all, but I cashed with Chicago and Vegas on the puck line yesterday. I just thought that's what low bag would do. Thanks for making us better cappers. And you guys are making us better cappers, man. This is teamwork here.
Bradley Oliver says Bulls over is a great bet today. That's not good. Chase Fox says Rockets will cover. I agree. Tomarino says I just think if Philadelphia is flat, they won't play much defense. That's a good point there. Tomarino says the Bulls game isn't a big bet for me. I got 209 for the over. Okay, listen, we will be able to do a lot more research between now and the 6 o'clock show, and we'll be able to discuss it. And of course, I would love the show to be an hour and a half or whatever. We got to move on to NHL. Jimmy the Bag. How about that?
I'd love to.
All right, so that's it for your NBA as of right now. Bunch of controversial picks that Jim and I have made. We might pull them back. Again, we'll go over this all at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Let's move on to the NHL. And do you have the NHL? Oh, we don't have the records, do we? We don't have the NHL records. All right. Jimmy the Bag, up and down in NHL, clawing back a little bit. You're down 3.3 units overall on the year with an average line, though, of plus 122. So I take a bunch of big underdogs. And I'm ups and downs, but I'm up right now 10.8 units on the year in the NHL. Yeah, not bad.
That's
plus
great.
5.5% ROI. And most of that has been as the result of having some balls. Because New Jersey on Friday, if you remember, Jim, that was a play that I was like, well, I'm leaning this way. I'm liking this, but I don't know. No, I'm not going to take it. But then in the afternoon, I was, no, fuck it. I am going to take it. And I took a -1 on the alternative puck line. And I'll be damned if they cash. Same kind of deal with a bunch of Vancouvers earlier on in the year when they were, the theme of the year for me in the NHL has been I cash when I have a little bit of balls. You know what I'm saying? Man,
that's a double-digit units in hockey is very good. I just want to be in the black when it's all said and done. I was very thankful to hop on the Devils with you, and that was by your confidence in it, and that was it was a great hit for me.
Yeah. Perfect example about how there's a synergy, how we all work off each other and how balls matter. That was a perfect example of me having some balls and Jimmy the Bag engaging in teamwork, and also there were some posters who endorsed that play as well. So and also some jokes in there because you remember I did a little bit of a dramatic reenactment of Schneider begging the remember that shit, and I think that hurt. Any play I make a joke about tends to be a winner. All right, NHL, we got 5 games tonight. Let me think of what I'm thinking about on tonight's card. All right, well first let's talk about LA and Philly. Right, an interesting game. LA, of course, 3 straight losses after a long run of winning. And Philly, I told you about that. Whenever there's a team that has a long run of losing and they start to pick it up, a lot of times it's an extended run where they start to go on, as opposed to teams that are very hyped and doing sort of mediocre, and then they have a big win. A lot of times they quickly go back down to being, complacent and overvalued and underachieving. Philly has won 6 in a row now after a long run of losing. I don't know. My gut says maybe LA bounces back and gets this one. What do you think, Jim?
This was the toughest game I felt on the card. When the Kings left for the road, they'd won 8 straight. They were playing very good. Now they're just trying to salvage one game on this 4-game road trip. They've been outscored 13-6. Kopitar says they're playing more not to lose than they are to win. Quick had the game off in Brooklyn, so he's back tonight. He's allowed 8 goals his last 2 games. As you said, Flyers have won 6 straight since losing 10 straight. Yeah. They've allowed 2 goals or less in all 6 of those games. They've kept their opponents to 2 or fewer power plays in each game. 10 different players have scored over the winning streak. Brian Elliott's been in goal for all 6 games. His numbers continue to improve. He's now got a 2.61 goals against and a .915 save percentage. After saying all that, I don't know what to do. My man Alonso says LA Kings win easy tonight. Anyone liking the reverse puck line for the Kings, says PB38?
Yes, I was thinking, I do -1s and +1s, so I was thinking about Kings -1, and you know what? I will take that one. I'll take LA -1. LA -1, and the money line part of that is headed down a little bit. The best line would be right now +104 at Pinnacle, Again, +105 at 5 times, and the reverse puck line at Pinnacle also is -1.5, +301. So I'm taking the Kings -1 here, money line +104, and the reverse puck line +301. Kings -1. Also, would you mind saving the comments so the King Rail one doesn't get deleted? That was a great
I've already got that one saved.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Oh, excellent. Great job. Jimmy the Bag. There you go. All right, I'm taking it LA -1. I was also thinking about getting cute with the first period under, although my first period totals have been horrible this year on my official picks, and my first period leans that didn't go on my official picks on the totals have been awesome. So, I just kind of, maybe it's best for me to stay off that one. But it does feel like it's going to be a low-scoring game to start. Feels like Quick's going to come out and have a good, another strong first period, right? Maybe not.
I agree. I agree that everything is pointing to an under.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to take Kings on the -1. We do have to hurry up a little bit because we do have NFL coming up as well. Jimmy the Bag, what else do you like from today's small card?
I very much like the Oilers on the puck line this evening, and we'll be taking them. Yes, they're terrible at home. 5-10-0, lost 3 in a row there. Have a penalty kill that allows 42 goals 42% of the time at home. Yes. On the road, 9-7-2, 1-5-6. That will balance itself out. That won't continue to be like that. Adam Larson is expected back soon from an injury, but is unlikely tonight. Brent Burns has finally broken out of his slump. 5 goals in his last 5 games. But the Sharks have the second worst offense in the league and now have to go without Logan Couture, who's out with a concussion. And man, is he a great hockey player. I love the Oilers puck line. I love the number I'm getting with it.
All right. Once again, Intertops has given us the best line on this one. It's plus 215. 215 beating Pinnacle's line. Pinnacle has 211. A bunch of other places have 210, but 5 dimes and Intertops have plus 215 right now on Edmonton -1. And I was thinking maybe about another shot with an under here. Of course, San Jose's been a strong under trender on the year. Obviously, the under is a little bit anti-correlated with a puck line win here, but I was thinking about a shot with the under and maybe the old first period under. What do you think about that one, Jim?
I think it's an interesting place to be in. I expect Talbot to start playing better at some point. Justin Searcy says we'd be lucky if the Sharks score a goal tonight. So, yeah, I get it.
All right, because it's not 130, it's just minus 113. I will take that one on the under. The Edmonton game under 5.5 minus 113, and I'm also tempted to double up on it with the first period under, which would be just minus 109. Do you think Edmonton's going to start scoring or what? Do you think they're going to start having an offensive explosion soon? Or
I don't think they have an explosion in them, but I do think they'll start scoring more. They're just too slow. They plod down the ice. They're just a slow skating team. They need to make a move, and you know what they have to do is they have to trade a first round draft pick because that's the only thing they really have of value other than a couple kids.
I will try it. Well, I'll go back to this one more time. I will double up. I'll take the first period under 1.5 minus 109 at Pinnacle. Again, my first period total leans have been great this year. My first period total official picks have been awful. So that's the one thing I've done wrong in NHL this year. But I'll take it under 109, under 1.5 minus 109 first period under, and a bunch of people were kind of agreeing with that one as well as far as the under is concerned. Now let's move on to the other game that's interesting, Pittsburgh against Colorado, right? Very interesting game here. This is another game where I was thinking taking a shot with the under, and I was also thinking about maybe taking a shot with a little alternative puck line action here on Colorado. These two teams, did play recently in Pittsburgh, and Colorado won 2-1, right? Pittsburgh, they won at Arizona, after 3 straight losses, but Arizona, a very bad team. They were a big favorite there, and they did get a win. It wasn't a particularly dominating win. And, Colorado's a big home underdog here. I'm leaning under. I'm leaning Colorado on the money line, and maybe even leaning Colorado on the -1 alternative line. What do you think, Jim?
I think it's wildly exciting. That action is wildly exciting. Yeah. It's a tricky spot. I spent a lot of time. I was up before 15 this morning. I went to sleep at about 6:30 last night. So I had a lot of time this morning, and I took some extra time with these pens. I'm trying to figure out what's going on with this team. Stanley Cup champions have won as many games as they lost. Their power play is the only thing that's strong this year, 4th in the league at 24.8%. And it's clear they're just not getting enough even strength goals. That's one of the problems. They only have 45. That's good for 29th in the league. Guentzel and Sheary, we expected more from. Guentzel has 12 goals, Sheary has 9. Carl Hagelin has 2 goals in 33 games. Now, it's also 1-goal games that they're losing. Last year, they won 19 out of 22 one-goal games. They only lost 3 one-goal games. This year, they've already lost 7. They're still 10 of 17. Matt Murray has a save percentage this year of .910. Last year was .932. Those are enormous reasons why something's going wrong with the Pens. Now, I do think the Pens are going to be awesome as soon as the trade deadline comes because they have salary cap room to get some stars on this team, which they need. Now, the Avalanche almost came back from 2 4-goal deficits versus the Lightning at home on Saturday night. That's extremely exciting, extremely impressive, and that does a lot for what's going on in the dressing room. Nathan McKinnon, Gabriel Landeskog are playing extremely well. They lack forward depth, but they're getting second-line center Alexander Kerfoot back tonight. But they've lost Eric Johnson to a 2-game suspension for slashing. He's their second-best defenseman. It's a very...
All right, let's get to some comments here. Adam Lastman, agrees with my play on the under, but disagrees with my play on Colorado. He says Pens win. Adam Lastman also says under again, Pens game. And then let's see. Khalif Lee says I like Colorado. Let's see. And McGogster says, man, I'm not sure about that under, Pete. So definitely. And Al Max says I like Colorado here. So there's a lot of uncertainty and going back and forth about this one, which is to be understood. So maybe, and what do you, so it sounds like you're thinking that if you like Colorado, this might be a spot where not to get too cute/greedy and take the alternative puck line, just take them as a plus 140 dog.
Well, when we're seeing that's how Pittsburgh's losing those 1-goal games, that I would definitely make that move. Jim Remy says, yeah, big value for Colorado. They even have bigger offensive numbers than the Penguins. Defensive numbers are mostly the same. Avs plus 143. And Corey Jean just says that Favors is out tonight, Jimmy. Thanks for that, Corey.
All right, I will take Colorado here, and I'll just take them on the money line. The best line right now would be plus 143. Although again 5 dimes has that one beat, and the alternative puck line for Colorado was just plus 377, which is maybe I was expecting maybe a little bit higher than that. You know what I mean?
I think people are questioning this Penguins team, and for good reason.
All right, I'm going to take him plus 143 on the money line, and then as far as the under is concerned, again, Adam Lastman likes the Penguins here, but he also likes the under. What's your sense on what we can expect as far as the scoring here, Jim? It is a 6. It is a 6.
It is a 6, and I expect the Pens to play tight. But again, they don't have last change, so that's going to create more offense because the Avalanche will be able to pick and choose when they bring out McKinnon and Landeskog.
All right, I will take it. If it was 5.5, no way, but all the way up to 6, I will take it. And the best line is 6 minus 118 at betonlinesportsbetting.ag. So you're getting a 6, and you're not even getting a huge favorite line there. So, I'll take it. You think that's a little bit risky. You don't quite like it.
I just find the Avalanche are a difficult team to figure out, but they're always going to be leaning towards higher scoring games.
All right. Other comments here that are very funny. James Pomeroy says, Loshak and Jimmy, do you like thick girls or small round booty girls? I like thick girls. Thank you. I've been very open about that for many, many years. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Come on, get with the program. That's old news. That's old news. Everyone knows that.
I've got 2 more picks too, so we only have a few more minutes.
All right. And then there's just one other comment that I did want to read, just because here we go. Johnny Redbeard says, my workers are like, what the fuck are you listening to? And I'm like, shut the fuck up, get to work. These are my boys. Johnny Redbeard, another short list contender for comment of the day. Johnny Redbeard. Oh, can you save that one too?
For sure.
Save all this shit, Jim. All right. So the only games we haven't gotten to, Columbus and Boston. That's a very interesting game. Columbus, something's wrong with that team, man. Boston, playing better recently. I believe they're coming off a couple losses. I was leaning Boston here. What do you think, Jim?
Leaning Boston, absolutely. Yeah. I'm taking Boston on the puck line tonight. This is the third game of a 3-game homestand that's gone poorly for the Bruins. It started by losing for the 11th straight time to the Capitals, then for the 7th straight time to the Rangers. But the Bruins they're on a back-to-back tonight and tomorrow. So Cassidy is not announced who will start. But this Bruins team, after getting Ryan Spooner back, they're only missing Adam McQuaid. They're close to being completely healthy for the first time. I've been saying for the last month that the Jackets are not as good as their record says they are.
Yeah.
I think this is a great spot to bank off of the Bruins.
I agree with you. So I'm going to take them on the -1 line with you. The best line right now would be -117 on the money line for betonlinesportsbetting.ag, and the best line on the puck line would be +250 once again. Given to by Intertops. Pinnacle has 249, but Intertops has beat them at +250. You like that one, Jim?
I like it a lot.
All right, Boston puck line +250, and I'm on Boston -1 on that one with you. I was also thinking maybe about a shot with the under on that one. Boston does still have a good goalie, right? And so what do you think about the under?
It doesn't matter if Gobin or Rask is in goal.
Okay. All right. Oh, wow. No, I'm not on the under because it's now one of those. It went down. It was 5.5. Now it's -135. All right. So we'll have to move on to an NFL.
Just quickly, okay. I'm also on the Ducks.
Oh, tell us why.
Want the Ducks tonight. They're facing off the Vatanen-Henrique trade. I think the Ducks are so good when they're healthy that they're going to go on a run and even win the Pacific Division. I know that sounds crazy. You can get 8-1, 9-1 for them to win the Pacific Division. Kyle Palmieri and Taylor Hall are coming back. We've seen teams have a little bit of difficulty bringing their stars back, and they're going to have some difficulty here. The Ducks have looked good in the first 2 games of their road trip. They won at St. Louis. They barely lost to the Capitals in overtime. I think this Ducks team is going to give a lot of value to us moving forward, and I'm going to jump on it immediately.
All right, +120. Again, Jim is on Anaheim, moneyline +120, Boston puck line +250, and Edmonton puck line +215. And I'm on Edmonton first period under -109, under 5.5 on the full game. LA -1, Colorado money line, the Colorado game under 6, and Boston -1. All right, let's quickly move on to NFL. We don't have the records here, but again, Jim and I are doing great in NFL. We'll throw this record up at some point. I am 20-11 +7.5 units. Jim is 35-25 +8.5 units overall. And tonight's game, we have a big home underdog. I don't know. I'm thinking that even though Atlanta's been good recently, ATS, I'm thinking that Tampa Bay getting 7 might be worth a shot. What do you think? Getting 7, Jim?
I think it might be worth a shot as well. Initially, I thought, man, these Bucks just aren't as good. And the Falcons, they're clearly playing better, but they've been playing well against good football teams. So I thought they're going to stomp on this terrible one in the Bucks. But can they win by at least a touchdown? I don't know. I'm going to keep studying this game throughout the day, but at this point, I'm definitely not on the Falcons.
Okay. I was leaning Tampa Bay and thinking about giving that one as an official play at +7. Slight lean to the over as well, although that is now getting up there. It's now up to 48.5 or 49, although Bookmaker still has 48. I was definitely leaning the over 48 and Tampa Bay +7, Jim. What do you think? Do you think those both make sense?
I do. I do think they both make sense, but I'm going to need more time to kind of sit with it and watch the line movement. But
all right, you know what? I'll give both of them right now. Fuck it. Over 48 minus 115. I will give both of them as official picks right now. Over 48 minus 115. That's the line right now at Bookmaker, and there are sevens available. I'm going to give a +7 minus 115. That is the line at UWager right now. What do you think, Jim?
Wow! And Corey Jean, who we love capping with, says I'll be sitting at the 50-yard line tonight, boys. Took a teaser,
nice.
Falcons.
Very nice.
Pick them and over 42 for a little action.
And Al Max says Tampa Bay money line, boys. Justin Searcy says I don't trust Atlanta. Brian Bosch says Falcons win big. Offense is due to explode, and if that happens, then the game will likely go over. So I'm taking a Tampa Bay +7 minus 115 and the over 48 minus 115. All right, we do have to wrap this shit up. Thanks so much for all the awesome comments. As always, I'm just going to quickly review all the picks. Do we have time for that? Okay, I'm going to review all the picks that Jim and I have given today. Jim has given in the NBA, Bulls money line +115 and the Bulls game under 210. The Spurs game under 202.5. Atlanta money line +130 and the Lakers line +6 minus 105. And in NHL, he gave Edmonton puck line +215, Boston puck line +250, and the Anaheim money line +120. And I gave again in the NFL, Tampa Bay +7 minus 115 and the Tampa Bay game over 48 minus 115. In the NBA, the Bulls game under 210, the OKC game under 211.5, and the first half under in that one 108. Also the Spurs game under 202.5. Also the Pacers game under 207. And that's it for NBA. And then in NHL, I gave the Edmonton game first period under and the full game under 5.5 minus 113. The Kings -1, Colorado money line +143, Colorado under 6 minus 118, and the Bruins -1.
Just before we close, I think that's absolutely the right play, the total going over. I think that's going to go up, and I want to get it at 48 before I don't.
Okay, all right. So Jim has just added Tampa Bay over 48 minus 115 in the NFL game tonight. Okay, and that's about it. Talaf Al-Tafi says John Gibson will not play tonight. Take New Jersey. Does that matter to you, Jim?
Well, Ryan Miller has been an absolute monster all year, so maybe I prefer Miller. He's got better numbers.
Okay, well, we do have to wrap this up, but we will be analyzing all these games once again at 6 o'clock Eastern Time, and of course, giving a college basketball plays, where I am up like 25 or 26 units, chugging along, win, lose, or draw. I'm doing well in college basketball every week, which is sort of what I would expect, although I have had some losing years, but I would expect in general to do well in college basketball any given year. That's it for today's show. We got to run. 6 o'clock Eastern Time is where we'll be, and you can find us here. We'll see you all then.